Kashman from Microsoft. And Mark, we just spent some quality time over here talking about Teams. So if you could just go ahead and sum up some of those things that you mentioned, which are some of the new features which is coming out with Teams and Office 365 and integration with SharePoint, all those great things that you just mentioned, then that'd be great.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that you can do. Primarily the discussion today was around, I've been using SharePoint for a long time and we're starting to look at Microsoft Teams. And so we really don't want any content to feel abandoned, and where people may start to gravitate to hold a conversation, the ability to then bring content into the conversation, we want that to be a less and less of a hurdle. So we talked about creating a page where we had a video on the page, we had maybe some quick links, and then a document or a list. You design the page, which really essentially is a SharePoint page with web parts on it. And there's lots of things that you can do. But it's really easy then to bring that page into Microsoft Teams as a tab, which for the end user, I'm discussing with my team and chatting, and then I flip over to a different tab, and there I see this nicely designed mini dashboard that you can create in a couple of minutes, or take your time and create something that's a little bit more durable. It's also really nice is once you're done with that page, you can remove it as a tab in Teams. It still exists in SharePoint, still get all the benefits of being searchable, crawlable, all that stuff. But you can bring a lot of things into Teams. So pages. I showed an example of a SharePoint list that had really light formatting based on the date. So if today's date and anything in the past maybe showed as green or finished. And anything that was into the future, this was tracking the podcast that I do. Anything in the future that is a planned future episode would show as red, aka it hasn't been published yet. Simple list to put together, easy information to track and plan. That was also really easy to bring in as a tab in Teams. Everything's sort of a tab in Teams, in Teams. The other thing you can then program a little bit more durable is anytime people, if they publish news from the team site, whether it's a hub site, home site, any type of site where you can publish news, if it's connected to a team, so you can now even connect a classic team site and make it more group connected, and one of those group apps can be Teams these days. If it's connected in that way, you can do it where anytime you publish news, it'll automatically flow into the conversation in Teams for that team it's associated to. So let's say I publish a new article about SharePoint hub sites can now be created and curated by the site owners, not just the tenant admin. We could publish that article as a new service. Hey team, did you know you can bring your site now under the site that I own? I'm the hub site manager. And so you post a picture and a little description or something like that and publish it as news. The nice thing about SharePoint News is it obviously shows up in the team site. You can program it to flow into the Teams team in the conversation. So a new article will show up. You can click on the article to view it, start to chat about it, mention people. Hey, did you see this? I thought maybe we could do that too on our team. And also the new service flows out to the mobile. So even though we're talking about SharePoint plus Microsoft Teams, it'll also flow out to the SharePoint mobile app. The new service is really just a unique type of SharePoint page that says, I want more people to see this and not have to come to SharePoint. So there's a lot more you can do. There's certain tips and tricks that there's certain pages that already exist, like the SharePoint team site homepage. It's a great little mini application that has documents and news and quick links and whatnot. So as a tab in Teams, you would just click into it, the SharePoint tile, choose the home, which is the home.aspx page, and voila, you've got your first mini application in Teams. You'll also see all the lists of all your lists. So it's really easy to bring in pages and lists and news.